So stay on the edge of your seat, stay ready, because I'm ready to put the guy away at any time.
I'm super excited to compete against Dante. It's definitely the toughest test of my career yet, but I'm excited to put on a show.
Let's meet the competitors in match number 5. Wearing the blue, training out of Toledo, Ohio, and representing GF Team, Dante Leon.
Dante Leon returns to action here in a rule set that he has had no small measure of success. Reaching the semi-finals of the third place match of the 2019 World Championships, pretty much tailor-made for these rules.
Absolutely, Dante is one of the most dynamic grapplers on the planet. Amazing guard, great wrestle-ups, submissions from everywhere. He's a real threat to Nicky Ryan tonight.
And his opponent, wearing the red, a 2-time ADCC veteran, training out of Dorado, Puerto Rico, and representing Danaher Death Squad, Nicky Ryan.
Nicky Ryan, a 2-time veteran of the ADCC World Championships, the youngest male competitor in ADCC history at the time. But now in action in a super fight rules match, 20 minutes against Dante Leon. We're expecting fireworks, Chase.
Let's check out our tail of tape here.
Very, very closely matched in terms of, physically speaking, both the same height and weighed in almost identically at 175 pounds. Nicky Ryan just a couple pounds under the weight limit, and we are good to go here in our co-main event at Road to ADCC. And Gordon Ryan, I'm sure you'll be keeping a very close eye on this match.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be an exciting one. I've watched this match happen multiple times in the gym, so I'm excited to see how it plays out on the big stage.
Have Dante and Nicky ever got hands-on with each other before?
Yeah, they've trained multiple times before.
They have?
Yep.
That's interesting. And what can you share with us? What kind of insight can we take from those gym sessions?
I mean, it was about a year ago, and Dante was visiting New York, and I've watched them. I think it was when I was sick or hurt or something, and I watched a whole session with them, and very, very back and forth. You know, it's an interesting clash of styles. Dante's done a much better job and a great improvement on his leg lock defense. He's very dangerous from everywhere, so this will be interesting, especially under this rule set.
Of course. Now, here's a wrestling attack there from Nicky Ryan. We saw this a lot actually over the last couple of months. His most recent performances here on Who's Number One, and you know, we saw a newly developed wrestling game. But Dante Leon, of course, the Canadian, based in Ohio, has access to some extremely proficient wrestlers and has been training with those for many years. And right onto that front headlock. Shuts down that takedown. We're going to go back into the center of the mat.
It's definitely a nice shot from Nicky, but also a solid reaction from Dante, letting him know that if you're going to shoot on me, I'm going to hang on your neck and make you pay. Dante has a vicious guillotine as well, has finished many a game competitor. I'm thinking of Izaki by hands and Spectacular Faction at one point off of a shot. So the threat is always there from Dante.
Yeah, he can snatch that neck.
Nicky's doing such a great job of hanging on Dante's head. You see Nicky's making contact with Dante's head with collar ties, but Dante's not really making contact with Nicky's. That over a 20-minute match, that's gonna do some work.
A little call to action from our referee Gabriel Malchines there, just asking the grapplers to stay busy, and that's an interesting snap down there from Nicky Ryan, yeah, into this front headlock series.
Snap by Nicky. Nicky's got a good guillotine, man.
What can he do with this position? Will he use it to take Dante down, or will he go for the submission? Dante will duck and weave there, getting his head out of the way. I feel, if anything, I don't know about you guys, but what do you think, Chase? I feel like Nicky maybe is going forward a little more here.
I was just thinking that. I do think he's pushing the tempo here. As Gordon mentioned, reaching the neck first. There, Dante manages to get in early on that, but Nicky shocks him off nicely. It's definitely an exchange of technique here. They're having a little conversation, and so far I'd say it's pretty neutral, but I like Nicky's pace. Nicky has been traditionally a little bit of a slow starter, you might say, and now here he's in the lead.
I agree. I think Nicky's doing great with the hand fighting.
Oh, there's a beautiful takedown there from Nicky Ryan.
Nice takedown by Nicky.
Man, that is a message right there. That is a statement.
That was perfectly timed by Nicky, yeah.
I mean, speared Dante, took him off his feet with that double leg, and we've talked a lot about the evolution and the development of Nicky as a wrestler, and that's the first time we've really seen it. And he doesn't have to worry about losing position there because, of course, points are not in effect up until the 10-minute mark. So even if he does concede bottom position here in the search of a possible leg attack, doesn't matter, you know, but I think that he's going to get a lot of confidence from the fact he was able to score a takedown like that.
Also great of Nicky to get his back on the mat. Dante was clearly looking to take the back, but Nicky was able to scramble out and just accept bottom position here.
Good, nice defense by Dante. Nice attempted entry by Nicky.
Even though Dante is on top, he didn't really sweep. He didn't initiate that movement as such. It was more of a just a change of position as Ryan was looking for the legs, possibly.
Well, the timing matters a lot in ADCC, right? There's 3 seconds, right? Exactly. Intention, if they rest in a neutral position for 3 seconds, that may negate points. Should we have been in a point scenario? Of course, right now, we're not. We have not reached the 10-minute mark here.
But also, if Nicky was to drop back for a leg lock and Dante to come on top, and it may not be classed as a sweep, even if Dante was to win top position,
as long as he
didn't initiate it.
As long as he initiates the attack, yeah.
So a few peculiarities about the rule sets here, but I hope that we can help you navigate through those. A reminder that a 20-minute match and points will only be active from the 10-minute mark. And now we see
nice
Ryan trying to wrestle up here.
His hands locked. That's a double. He's gonna go down. Nice job by Nicky. Beautiful shot by Nicky.
Nicky looking really crisp tonight.
And he's back on a leg, but Dante got his knee out. Nice attempt by Nicky, but Dante did a great job of getting his legs inside, and Dante's up.
That is nice twice exchange. Now. That is twice that Nicky Ryan has been able to out-wrestle Dante Leon and put him down to the mat. That is, that's got to give him a lot of confidence because Dante is one of the best in the game at that.
Yes, that's yeah, Nicky said for the last couple of shows now, he's been saying, I've been working on my wrestling, and now finally people can see it.
And against an extremely competent wrestler like Dante, it's not like he's fighting somebody who doesn't know how to counter those.
I mean, it's a very similar game to what Dante employs himself, the wrestle-up style, going from guard into a shot. I'm sure Dante does not enjoy having his game used against him.
I haven't felt a ton of forward pressure from Dante in this guard yet. There was a brief moment earlier when he kind of pressured forward, but so far he seems stuck in this middle distance.
I half hope Dante passes him so he can give me the blueprint on how to do it in the gym.
Something that you struggle with?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You mentioned a little passivity from Dante. He actually was issued a verbal warning moments ago. Of course, that has no effect on the score, but worth noting that the judges here are also taking that into account.
Warning for blue.
Yeah, our referee, Gabriel Martins, is right on top of the action here and issues another warning to Dante Leon. I do believe that if he receives another warning for passivity, or let's call it inactivity, then if that occurs after the 10-minute mark, then that will result in a negative point, because I do believe that he has now had 2 warnings. Oh, it's 1 warning so far. I've just had clarification from our officials table. 1 warning so far. And now Dante's coming hard.
His leg, but he's not, or his arm rather, but he didn't have any control of his head, so he just missed the head with the crossface.
Nice leg weave there from Dante. I love those little motions. So much we can learn from watching high-level grapplers in action, and I think this is something that any average practitioner of jiu-jitsu, anybody who's even just a recreational grappler, somebody who just gets into the gym a couple of times a week, you can learn so much from watching high-level black belts in action, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's you know, watching tape study is such a big part of the game. You know, watching the best guys do, you know, the most efficient moves is huge for development.
Of course, doing it under pressure against world-class opposition, further evidence that these techniques work. And now I think we could see Nicky Ryan come up again. He's got those hips
locked, but Dante's down again. Dante's on a guillotine. He's known for his guillotines, but Nicky's so hard to guillotine.
We'll see. There he gets his head out, and that is another very solid wrestle-up style reversal. Now, the first 2 times we saw that happen, we saw Nicky drop back pretty quickly on a leg.
Now it's close to points, so I think that Nicky's going to try to get to a passing position, get to a scoring position as points are initiated.
And of course, you and all the members of your team, Gordon, you all compete under multiple rule formats. You compete with points, you compete submission only, and here the ADCC rules, they're so specific and they don't come around very often. How much do you adapt the preparations for you know, to get ready for this specific kind of match?
We do a year-long, we do year-round training for ADCC, and then we do a specific camp before the event. But our entire focus is actually on ADCC rules in the training room, and then we actually deviate from that to do submission-only matches.
Wow, that is interesting. So you feel that the fact that this event has is the first ADCC rules event since the World Championships in 2019, not a problem?
No, everyone did a camp for this. We've been working on it since the last ADCC.
About 1 minute away from the points coming into effect right now, and Nicky Ryan very comfortably on top. Dante Leon playing this open guard, De La Riva on the left side. Dante, you mentioned it, Chase, that he's very good for wrestling up from this position. We haven't seen it yet, but it's something we could possibly look out for.
I think he absolutely is going to look to do that, but he'll need points to be active in order for that to be most effective. So I think now I spoke too soon. I figured he would maybe want to stay there until points took into effect, but here he switches position with Nicky.
That position right there, what do you think, Gordon? Was that would that be a negative point for a guard pull there, or do you think that was considered a sweep so Nicky wouldn't be penalized for going to his butt there?
No, I think it would have been a guard pull because Dante stood up and then Nicky just sat down to his butt. There was no sweeping initiation.
And we have the penalty on the scoreboard here.
Confirmation of that.
Oh, wow.
That rules seminar I went to yesterday paying off. Because it wasn't actually a sweep per se, like in the middle of that.
Well, yeah, that's what I said, right?
Yeah, in the middle of that,
pull.
exactly. In that middle of the motion, that Dante didn't take him all the way down to the bottom. That Nicky elected to go to the bottom mid motion.
Exactly, yeah.
So conceding bottom position is penalized.
As Dante came up, Nicky set. So.
Yeah, a little confusion even whether that was between the referees and the officials, but the penalty does stand for the guard pull.
Yeah, I think because they both were up and Nicky set, that's why the penalty came in.
So yeah, these ADCC rules can be tricky to navigate at times. You definitely need to do your homework, but here again with the hips.
Going down.
Wow, but Dante could maybe scramble back up to his feet.
Wow, that's different. That's very different because yes, Nicky Ryan was able to come up with the same wrestle-up kind of reversal. Dante this time, he was having none of it. He was up and away because he was aware, I don't want to get scored on.
Now this is going to be interesting. You got 10 minutes now of wrestling. Someone's got to get a takedown. Otherwise, you can't sit, can't do anything.
We didn't see Dante pull the trigger on any takedowns earlier either. In that first 10 minutes, it was Nicky pressing the action. He shot the double leg. He was going for the reversals. Now points are in effect. I think we're going to see a very different Dante Leon.
Yes, and it'll be interesting to see how this goes now. Because yeah, I figured that one guy was going to be on top, one guy was going to be on bottom, and we'd start points in the grounded position. But this is, you see Dante picking the pace up now.
He has to be a bit emboldened as well by having the one penalty against Nicky. Obviously, that wouldn't matter in the effect of a takedown taking place, but still, knowing that you're up has to be encouraging.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of like a safeguard right now. I mean, if Nicky scores, then obviously it's not going to matter. But provided an equal score, that's kind of your safeguard.
Deep shot from Nicky.
And Dante's down, and Dante's up.
Seems that Dante was much more accepting of those takedowns when points were not a factor, but he certainly is not.
Dante's going to be active, though, otherwise he's going to get a negative.
Right.
So that'll score things up.
Right,
And
you can't just go on the stay on the defensive. He also has to attack.
I think that Nicky's been more active, so if they both have a negative, I think that it's going to go towards Nicky right now, at least. So Dante's got to be active. He's got to be up there. He can't afford a negative, in my opinion.
Man, I really love how deep Nicky's shots are. I was just saying, he gets way under the hips of Dante. No one does it to Dante Leon.
If Dante can stay off his back. Yeah, that's 3 seconds. That is a good takedown there. That's a 2-point takedown for Nicky Ryan.
Chest to chest and half guard. This is going to be tough for Dante to recover from here. I see Nicky passing.
Oh, beautiful timed guard pass there from Nicky Ryan, straight into the side control. 5 points on the board, scored in a matter of seconds. The momentum in this match has shifted drastically.
Yeah. Once Nicky landed chest to chest with his hands locked, I'm like, yeah, he's going to pass from here.
I have to say, I'm completely blown away. I mean, Nicky's always been incredible, but had some very close matches of late, but he's blowing Dante out of the water at this point. Really, really seeing that gym level Nicky Ryan that we keep hearing about.
Yes, yeah, this is what I've been talking about.
Yeah, let's not forget that Dante Leon, an IBJJF World No-Gi champion. He is a multiple-time veteran of Who's Number One. And let's not forget that he did fight through to the semi-finals of the ADCC World Championships.
He's gonna pass again.
Almost gets it, but this time the recovery from Dante Leon a little sharper.
His hands are locked. He's gonna end up either passing or taking his back again.
Oh, and you called it. You called it.
Dante did a great job grabbing, though.
You can hear his corner telling him, don't stop here, because this is not the kind of position that you really want to hang out in with Nicky Ryan, because that leg looks like it's just asking to be taken.
Yes, and if Nicky falls to bottom, he won't be penalized if he initiates an attack.
Dante just patiently
There's an interesting game going
this
on
position,
here.
yeah. It was kind of a brinksmanship. It was a, who wants to go first, right? Well, there we have it. Back up to their feet now. A 5-point deficit. Dante Leon needs to get busy.
Nicky's limping. He's hurt.
And he had to pull guard.
Oh,
he accepted the penalty. Interesting.
Nicky's hurt.
I wonder where that came from. Any idea?
I don't know.
Certainly didn't see anything take place where he gave any signal of any kind of injury. So,
but it was pretty obvious when he was walking. That's not good, but there's an interesting dynamic for the next 6 minutes here in this match.
Yeah, how much will that impact his ability? Will he have to exclusively play bottom here? Will he be able to wrestle up?
Let's see. I mean, he's got such an advantage with the points. I mean, it's only up 3-0, so if Dante passes him and gets to a position, he could make these points up because of the negatives.
That's correct. That's a good point, Gordon. You mentioned that if Dante is to pass the guard and score 3 points, the negative points, those are not penalties, those are negative points. So in effect, Ryan would end the match 3-3 and it would go to a decision.
Correct.
It's 5-2 currently, it's 5 points on the board, but in effect at the end of the match, it will be 3 points. So.
Sense of urgency creeping into the corner of Dante Leon. They can see that victory is still within reach. You know, this is definitely a momentum-changing moment here with Nicky Ryan's apparent injury that we don't know too much about yet, but definitely changed the dynamic of this match.
Already, I feel that Ryan is a little less aggressive from bottom. And
well, he's definitely not looking to wrestle up like he was before.
Exactly. But also, I feel like the impetus is on Dante here to be aggressive still and to go forward.
Yeah, Dante can't afford to have any negatives assigned because that will chip away at his any potential of tying or taking the lead here.
Again, that little windshield wiper motion of the trapped leg to try and get around the guard, but Nicky Ryan's guard recovery, man, everywhere Dante goes, there's a leg in the way.
Good frames from Nicky, but yeah, I think we have to call it like we see it in that Nicky's playing an extremely defensive game at this point. And Dante's doing his best to initiate something, but great defense from Nicky where it is. I mean, his frames are perfect.
Yeah, Nicky's knee-elbow connection is so hard to get by.
I think even though he seems relatively comfortable here and it just could have basically cruise control from this point out, but he's going to have to dig deep to get through whatever the injury is that seems to be bothering him. Still, he has a little under 4 minutes remaining in this match. And Dante, still plenty of time to score. Of course, these 20-minute matches are a marathon as opposed to a sprint. Dante just trying to get that knee through, but insisting on that knee slide when that top leg is in the way. And you mentioned how difficult it is to pass Nicky Ryan's guard, Gordon, but I would like to know if there was any advice that you could give to Dante in this position. Like, how would you even approach it?
It's very hard to pass him linear like he is, where he's just trying to go straight through the middle. The best way to go about, starting to pass is, you see how he's going straight into his guard, is to create outside knee position where he can outflank him past his knee and step past his hip line. That's the best way to start the passing against a guy with amazing knee-elbow connection frames, is get past the hip line, get past the shoulder line, and either try to pass the side control that way, or use it to get chest to chest, or pass to north-south.
Easier said than done, and Dante Leon is insisting on trying to get through, but everywhere he goes, there's something in the way blocking his path. And now this closed guard offers Nicky Ryan an opportunity to slow things down and to control his opponent. But yeah, the moment that Nicky pulled guard, it's been completely different. Nicky has barely attacked from bottom. He really seemed to be just content with riding that point advantage here, but
he's clearly been injured.
Something bothering him, yeah.
Yeah, there's something going
serious.
on there. Interesting to see what he says in the post-fight.
And you yourself have suffered injuries mid-match, Gordon, and then continued and fought on through it.
Yeah.
How difficult is it to know mid-match that something is seriously wrong and I still have all this time left to go?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, depending what the injury is, like with me, I had a full LCL tear. So when I was fighting Joao and he would pass to my right side and I'd have to try to high leg over with my left leg, I couldn't high leg, which is like the most effective thing you have to do in order to retain guard. So anytime you push my ankle, I'm like, oh, my leg's gonna break. I gotta pull my knee back in. So he actually did almost pass me a few times to north-south because I couldn't high leg and I had to fight and turtle and stuff. So people don't realize one small thing that goes wrong can be catastrophic for your performance.
Entering the final minute here. This is Dante's last chance to try and make things interesting. Nicky doing a really great job of framing away, but clearly defensive until the end of regulation is what we're going to see.
I'm wondering if Dante himself noticed the limping and whether he was cognizant of whatever it is that was bothering Nicky, and if he knows the reason for the guard pull. And maybe if he had known, he would have been maybe a little more aggressive and even attacking for the legs, but insisting on this guard pass with less than 30 seconds left in the match. It looks like
the thing is, I don't think Dante realized he was limping.
Right.
Dante was walking away
so
as Nicky was following him, and then he turned around and Nicky set. So he may not know.
That's good gamesmanship right there. If you can conceal your weakness from your enemy, then that's high-level stuff right there.
Yep.
And time expires in the 20-minute match. Dante Leon unable to find an answer to the puzzle that was Nicky Ryan's guard. And you can see, a serious injury, whatever it is that is bothering Nicky Ryan. He can barely walk at this stage in the match.
And
but
your
still,
winner, out of the red corner, representing Danaher, their squad, Nicky
a lot of
Ryan.
Grimace on his face says it all. The way that Nicky Ryan slowly makes his way across the mat, whatever the injury is, seriously has affected him, and being helped off the mat by Coach John Danaher, and also Smachi from Daisy Fresh, who was in Dante's corner for this match. and hopefully nothing too serious. But let's take a look at some of the best moments from this match. And the wrestling earlier on this match set the tone. And really, it was surprising for me to see that Nicky had such a clear advantage in an area that Dante is very well known for.
100%. You know, we've been hearing about Nicky's incredible wrestling, but have yet to really see it come across in competition. Tonight, it's shown through, really, really getting deep underneath the hips of Dante, something that no one has really been able to do so effectively. Nicky did it 5-7 times in this match. Really unfortunate to see this injury. You know, let's hopefully he recovers nicely. But let's hear from Nicky in just a moment here.
Well, I am here with the winner, Nicky Ryan, and my first question, Nicky, is, of course, congratulations, great performance, but please tell us, what is it that is bothering you? There was a moment during the match where you obviously had a leg injury, you sat down to guard. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, I went to come up on Dante once, and I folded my heel into my butt, and I ran into a heavy sprawl, and I just felt something on the outside just go.
So you're saying it's something in the ankle that's bothering you? Or?
No, my right knee.
Okay, well, I mean, we really hope that it's nothing too serious and you make a quick recovery. But that definitely changed the momentum of the match, because up until that point, you were winning that match primarily through the application of wrestling technique. And now it's something you've spoken a lot about, something you wanted to develop, but you really put it into practice here tonight. Yeah,
you know, I'm very happy with this performance. You know, it sucks I got injured halfway through. I definitely think that prevented me from getting the finish, you know. But overall, I'm very happy I was able to showcase, you know, what I do in the gym every day. You know, I feel like my last few performances, even though I won, I was only showing a glimpse of what I'm truly capable of. And I feel like this time I really competed like I trained.
Psychologically speaking, tell us, like, what happens, what's going through your head in a moment like that mid-match when you know that something is so seriously wrong?
Yeah, at that point, I was pretty much just like, I'm up on points. I'm pretty much just going to have to hold them off. You know, it's going to be pretty hard to play top position. So I was either, you know, hunting for the legs, trying to get a finish there, or just holding him off from guard, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to wrestle up again because of the knee.
Well, you quite obviously had to dig deep, and you managed to hold on until the end of the match. And that aside, the portion of the match aside where you were unable to come back up on top, man, the wrestling looked great. I think overall you must be pretty happy with that part of the performance.
Yeah, you know, this is like pretty much my second competition where I came out and wrestled, and this match definitely built my confidence in that aspect.
Now, you're, of course, a two-time veteran of the ADCC World Championships, an ADCC Trials winner, and it just seems that your game gets better and better and more applicable to the ADCC rule set. You definitely showed that here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I think my style shines under this rule set.
Well, there we have it. Congratulations, Nicky Ryan. A speedy recovery, but the winner here tonight, Nicky Ryan.
Thank you.
Like a pretty serious injury, and he's being helped out of the competition arena by his coach and teammates. So fingers crossed, nothing too serious, and we'll see him back in action soon. But don't go anywhere, because coming up next, we have the main event. It's champion versus champion. Kaynan Duarte versus Mateus Diniz. We'll be right back after this. Fat Tire, a beer made with climate solutions and land and water conservation in mind.